Right, so let's review this then. It's the Electrolux Mypro TE1120 8kg condenser tumble dryer, a professional condenser tumble dryer, which means it's available to use in commercial use. However, I'm going to be honest, completely off the bat, it's no different to their regular machines. But there are a few changes. Chief amongst which is the door, which is very unique. It's got a plastic heat shield at the front, but a glass inner door there. Also, this handle is really chunky, really nice. It's a plate of like stainless steel metal, so it does make it feel chunkier. The machine is overall a little bit heavier, and it's got quite a big heater on it. Total input to this machine is 2800 watts. Considering it's got an inverter motor on that, you've only probably got 100 watts there. So it's got a 2700 watt heater, which is huge for a dryer actually. So if you open the door, down below here we've got our we've got a QR code. But what we've also got is this here, and this switch here. Push that way, and it's a bit rubbish, but that is supposed to release the door for your condenser unit. Your condenser unit, which you need to clean periodically. You flick that up, and then that up. Then this will drop down, doesn't remove, but then this unit will. Now that not great. Now this condenser unit, wow, it's actually spotless. It's pretty clean actually. This one doesn't need cleaning, despite me buying it used. But it looks like it's no different to the condenser units of old. It's no different to them. So if replacement is necessary, you could probably use an old one in, but you just wouldn't have that handle. Right, so this drum is a completely new design. It has been for the last, obviously, 5 years, but it's the first time for me for this type of drum. And basically it's, if you notice, the back doesn't rotate at all, but it has got this prong to stop things. I don't know why they put it there. I think it's just to keep things away from the duct in here. But essentially, you've got a felt bearing there and one here, so there's 2 felt bearings to go rather than 1, which is a bit annoying. Talking of annoying, this isn't very old. You can hear it squeak. Now that's the front roll bearing that's down here at the side. It doesn't matter too much because they just keep going. But still, for a not very old machine. Right, with it being condenser, it has a water tank and it's at the top here. You can take it out. Again, nice brushed stainless steel panel on the front of the drawer, but the rest of it is plastic. Not too bad plastic. It's not the cheapest, you know, I've seen worse. Again, design of the tank's no different to the older ones. So despite this being a new drum design, the whole entire machine isn't really any different from, 20 years ago. Right, where this becomes as commercial use is the top panel. It's designed basically to be more economic and easier to use than the standard AEG domestics. And I'm saying AEG domestics here because Electrolux manufacture and own AEG. This is branded as an Electrolux, however it is a spitting image near enough of a AEG dryer instead. So I'm basing it more on that, and it's because of the layout, the entire layout. You know, you've got your on-off button here and the centre dial and, you know, the LEDs at the side here. Don't get me wrong, you know, John Lewis also has those, something very similar, but the slanting panel's exactly the same. Okay, yeah. Let's have a look. Right. Turn it on. Right. It's come up with the last program used, which for me was Auto Cover Dry. So this machine has 2 heat settings, well 3 if you count airing as well, but of course you can't dry on airing. You also have sensor programming and time programming, and they've basically made that very clear in the manual. Yeah, so anyway, the first program is actually here, and it's Eco Standard, which is actually 5 minutes longer than the standard auto cover program. But that being said, the Eco program, you can still choose everything. Oh, so we'll go through all these buttons here as well. So we've got half load, which doesn't do anything. It just basically reduces the time by about 1/3. And I think it's more of an indicator of how long the load's going to take, not actually a button. It doesn't really do anything. It's a bit like the old spin speed buttons that some AEGs had, where you could change the spin speed, but that was just to indicate how long it's going to take from the washing machine to the dryer, not, you know, doesn't do anything. However, we've got then these buttons here. We've got extra dry, cover dry, and iron dry, and all of these are to do with the Eco cotton, the auto cotton, auto normal heat, and the auto low heat settings on this. We've also got care. Now, if you notice here, we've got a little folder shirt, and then we've got a folder shirt, and when we press care, plus comes up next to the folder shirt. The folder shirt is auto anti-crease. Now, it automatically anti-creases for 30 minutes after the cycle finishes. You can take your laundry out after the cycle finishes, and then for up to 30 minutes, the machine will tumble periodically. If you select care with the plus little icon, it now extends it from 30 minutes to 90 minutes instead. We've also got time, which on this program is come up with ERR. Time allows you to add on 5 minutes of time, which is going to get interesting in a minute. So that's your Eco, that's your Auto. We've got the 2 dots, which means for high heat or cottons. It's also, all of these will take 8 kilo of laundry. That's maximum load. You know, as you can see, it's pretty much exactly the same, only 5 minutes less than the Eco for some reason. Right, now it's going to get interesting. So we've got 15, 30, 45, 60, 90 minutes, and 120 minutes. Except, so these are not sensor programs, just time drying. So it switches to sensor off and will dry for that specific amount of time. However, obviously, all these buttons are not going to work, except for Care Plus, which can be used on all the time programs, of course, and the time button. Which adds on 5 minutes with each press. I'm just gonna go to say 30 minutes. Let me just see if you can get it to say more than 40 minutes. No. So all that time button does, it's giving you 15, 30, 45, 60 minutes, whatever. And then it allows you to add on 5 minutes up to the next period. So actually, you haven't got 15, 30, 45, 60, 90 or 120 minutes. You've actually got 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 35, 40 minutes, etc, 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 all the way up to 150 minutes or 2.5 hours. Now, and we've got this side, which is low heat. Now, low heat is for your synthetics and acrylics, etc, and man-made fibres that need a gentle heat. Maximum load now is 3.5 kilo. Yeah, just slightly under half. we've also got 120 minutes, 90, 60, 45, 30 and 50 minutes on low heat. And again, we've got time which we can add on 5 minutes up to 2.5 hours. Same with the care option, you can extend the anti-freeze from 30 minutes to 90 minutes. And if we go to auto, same applies. You can see that the time is a bit lower. We've got cover dry, extra dry, iron dry. We've also got half load as well, load there as well, etc. Right. Then we've got airing, which is 15 minutes, no heat. And there's no time button, which, but you can have Care Plus. Now, for me, airing is just, it's a bit useless in most aspects. However, I would have thought if you got a time button that you can adjust all these times with, I would have thought you could also adjust the airing as well. Bit odd. Right, you can also add a pay meter to these. So I actually wonder that, I reckon if you had a pay meter, the auto programs would probably be shut off so you can't use them, and you use the time segments instead. Obviously then you can just use the time button. Right, so I'm going to set it up for our load. So go and turn it on. Before we've even started, we're going to load up in a minute. We're going to load up with a load of bedding, but we're going to put it on auto low heat for a reason, and we're going to use cover dry. Can I just shut this light off for a second? If I rub my hand over there, there's a light there inside the drum, but because it's white you can't really see it. So extra dry, start. So during the first minute or so, it's doing quite slow tumbles, but it is trying to sense the load. And then it will sense the load and continue, as if it's trying to sense if there's any moisture there. Right, so with 0 in the display flashing, as well as the anti-crease shirt icon flashing, it means it's in anti-crease mode and you can now open the machine up to take out your laundry. You don't have to wait for it to end fully to take it out. Also, the filter light here has lit up and the water light has also lit up as well. These are to remind you to empty these when you take out the laundry. If either of these start flashing, it means that either the airflow has become significantly reduced and it may have also blocked the cycle for the airflow. And if the water tank gets full completely, this will start flashing as well. So to end the cycle, just open the door. Also, that beep will also chime if both at the end of the cycle and once the anti-crease face is also finished as well. Eventually, after 5 minutes, this whole display goes out and it goes into auto off mode. But you can also turn it off manually as well. Right. Now, our laundry is still damp. I'm not too sure whether that's because we've dried it on synthetics or the fact that it also balled up quite a lot. At the start of the cycle, yes, it's unballed itself, but if it's sensed earlier on, when it was balled up, you would have had less moisture and would detect it as more drier. That may have been a reason. I am kind of impressed that it did ball up and then unballed itself. So it looks like this does work. Maybe? Or had it unballed itself whilst we've been in anti-crease mode? Who knows? There is, yeah, it's definitely still sort of balled up. It just needs finishing off. Right. Our filter's in our door. Now, actually, you can either grab the entire filter if you want, or you've actually got a neat little handle on this, which I kind of like. Lift it out. We've then got a push button here, and that falls forward. So make sure that the handle's pointing towards you and pushes away from you, and I'll just drop in. Right, so let's give this out of 10 then. Well, it's going to get 7.5 out of 10. It's an Electrolux that it's a normal dryer that's massively overpriced for what it is. Okay, so the guarantee will cover you in any commercial setting. It is quicker than the normal condenser dryers, I think. It seems quick. Under a normal cotton load, it does seem to only take about an hour and a bit, whatever, to do a full load. So it is still quick. But it tangled that bedding, and yet I use my method, as been proven time and time again, it does work. That if you fold the top duvet over, it will, on top of all the sheets and pillowcases, it doesn't ball up, but it balled it up. The only other machine that does that as well is a Miele. That's a bit concerning. I do like the fact that there's quality in certain areas. This blue is quite nice actually. It makes it stand out a bit more. And everything is brushed stainless steel, so it gives a quality feel. But to justify 1,200 quid, I'm not too sure. Especially as, of course, you are technically limited on programs. You got less programs than your standard dryer, which will obviously give you extra programs. I get it that usually these programs are the same as auto extra cover dry, whatever. but as a different name, but it makes. But overall, I think it's okay. It's okay. I'll have to get a Miele Little Giants in and see what they're like at some point. Since this is basically what its competition is. This is the Electrolux version of the Miele's Little Giant. It's Electrolux Little Giant, basically. Actually, Miele domestic machines are always commercial machines that are made important to the domestic market. Hope you enjoy this review. Don't forget to like and comment what you like about the machine, what you like about the review, what I could do better, what the machine could do better. See you for now.